Can anyone hear this? What is up? I'm hoping this... Oh, shit. Let me move this out of here. All right, guys. Welcome in. I believe this is working to the official first DG Live, my live stream. Yes, guys, we've got major college football games today. I'm trying to see if I can get the chat up. So, guys, what I'm going to be doing is just previewing all of the games. And you see what happened last night. Let me just say something. Let me just get this out of the way right now. If there's 3 things you're going to learn this weekend, and let me just make sure this is working. I'm getting great frames right now. This is my gaming PC. This is unbelievable. My CPU is 0.7, and I'm live streaming. I always knew my internet was great. People would tell me, oh, you don't like Amazon Prime because your internet sucks. Guys, it's doing phenomenal right now. Let me just say this. If there's 3 things you're going to learn this weekend, trust Chip Kelly, trust Charlotte football, and trust David Shaw, folks. We saw what happened last night with Chip Kelly. I called it. Honestly, guys, I was just trolling. There's my dog. I was just trolling throughout the entire week, saying, oh, I love Chip Kelly, and then it ended up working out for me. And can we not spam the chat? Can we not spam? We need another. You want another iceberg video? I like doing those videos a lot. Guys, I need a moderator already, I think. We've got someone who just keeps saying stuff. But I am going to preview these games. I've got computer models to look at. The stuff we're hearing out of Clemson right now, it's crazy. Apparently, there's going to be no rain in Clemson today. So let's go through these games. And if you guys have any questions, let me try and just pull the freaking chat up. See if I can do this. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Brother, please stop spamming stuff in the chat. I'm going to have to remove you. You got to stop, man. It's getting cancerous. You're typing in a random letter. All right, so guys, I'm just going to go through the games. Michigan and Iowa. This one, I like the under. I'm seeing the over-under at 42. J.J. McCarthy on the road. His first big road game. I don't think Michigan's going to blow out Iowa. If you're an Iowa fan, I was just thinking about this morning. You have to feel really sad if you're an Iowa fan. This is literally a prime upset spot. Will Arkansas pull off the upset? I'll get to it. I don't think so, but who knows? Nobody knows what Alabama football is right now. But guys, if Iowa just had a little bit better of an offense, Michigan is a total fraud. They haven't proven a thing. I told people the 3 non-conference opponents Michigan had faced, they're worse than most FCS teams. People don't realize it. They just think, oh, all the bad teams are the same. No, these 3 teams that Michigan had faced in non-conference are so historically bad. Them winning 50-7 or whatever it was, it means nothing. It literally means nothing. And then last week, they get lucky with, Maryland. They get the takeaway right away, whatever. I think Michigan wins this game. It's lower scoring. I like the under. Kentucky, Ole Miss, who knows? This is interesting. This line opened Ole Miss -4. It's been bet up to 6.5. I would not touch this game with a 10-foot pole. I would not. Oklahoma, TCU. This line actually got bet up to 6.5. It's down to 5. I love Oklahoma on the road. TCU is due for a loss, in my opinion. How about this Purdue-Minnesota line getting bet down? Guys, does anyone know if Aiden O'Connell is playing? I'm guessing he is. If that line actually got bet down. Texas Tech, Kansas State, whatever. I think Kansas State is going to win. Kansas State, it's so unfortunate. They lost to Tulane. They come back. And, we'll see what happens there. They're 7.5-point favorites. Texas Tech, they really should be 2-2 at this point. They had that big win against Texas. But let's remember, I think there was something about Texas Tech being, 6 of 8 on 4th down? Aiden O'Connell is playing. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured if the line got bet down. Georgia State, Army, I love the under. I said take the under 58. It's down to 54. Illinois, Wisconsin. All of the models love the under. All the models love the under, guys. Louisville, Boston College. A lot of people like Boston College. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people like Boston College. The models like Boston College. And Boston College is kind of a weird team because they were supposed to be this decent team at the beginning of the year. They've been so bad. I'm not betting that at all, personally. Navy, Air Force, over under 38. I mean, whatever. Temple, Memphis. I'm not betting that game. Texas State, James Madison. James Madison minus 22. I think James Madison is out to prove a point. But the models will tell you to take Kansas State plus the 22. They are, I guess, good value. Utah, I love Utah, minus 10.5. They're on a warpath right now. That's a 2 o'clock game on the Pac-12 network. UMass is so bad. Oh, my God. There's several teams in college football that are just so bad. BC with the upset? Yeah, I don't think so, man. Northern Illinois, Ball State, who knows? I mean, the MAC games are such a crapshoot. East Carolina, South Florida. So, yeah, this game got moved. Unfortunately, I was going to take, South Florida plus the 8. The game gets moved, and whatever. I would say take the under. Normally, what tends to happen when they move to neutral sites, the under is normally a lock. Alabama, Arkansas. Guys, wow. So this line did get bet up. People are trusting Nick Saban. It's interesting. Alabama, it really comes down to they haven't proven anything, right? They have the rough game against Texas. They should have lost. The other teams they've beaten, Vanderbilt, UL Monroe, it's just tough to trust Alabama based off their wide receivers, based off what they've shown on the field, but I understand people believing in Nick Saban. Arkansas, on the other hand, they had that really rough game against Missouri State. But I will say Missouri State is actually really good for an FCS team. It's weird. People were like, oh, my God. I was criticizing Arkansas, and people came at me. They're like, no, Missouri State is good. Look up the metrics, and they actually are good. But I think Alabama's going to win it. I don't know, what's actually going to happen in the game because I don't know enough about Alabama's receivers and kind of how they're going to adjust. Rutgers, Ohio State, I think I have this at 55-10. This line has been bet down. That's because the analytics say bet Rutgers plus the 40, plus the 39, which is what it's at now. I believe it opened minus 41 for Ohio State. It's due to Ohio State's offense. Audio is crap. This is a Blue Yeti, man. I don't know. I think just sometimes people pick up bad audio. Audio is fine. Okay. Yeah, he's not spamming right now. So I don't know. I think I need a moderator with that dude. He spams one letter. It ruins the chat a little bit. But Northwestern, Penn State, that over-under has gotten bet down to 50.5. I believe I said bet the under when it was 52. It's still a little risky with these college over-unders, guys. I mean, we saw last night. Did you guys see the Boise State game? That game had no business going over. Neither team could throw the ball. There was a block punt return for a touchdown, and then frickin' Boise State scores 35 points in the second half after firing their offensive coordinator. It's just that's the thing with some of these over-unders. It's crazy, but this is a 3:30 game on ESPN. That's funny. Wake Forest, Florida State. I like Wake Forest plus the 6.5. The crowd will be interesting. I wonder how many people will show up for that game. If you look where Tallahassee is, I really don't think Tallahassee was affected by the hurricane. But, we will see. That's the one thing I'm worried about for Florida State. What's the crowd like? That's why I think Wake Forest is decent value, plus 6.5. Iowa State, Kansas, a lot of people in on Iowa State. A lot of people think Kansas is due for a loss, possibly a parity game. Both of these teams go to 4-1. Fresno State, UConn. I believe Fresno State's starting QB is out, so who knows? Fresno State 23-point favorites. UConn is so bad. Michigan State, Maryland. Maryland listed minus 7.5. I would pretty much say, guys, I think Michigan State covers this line. It's a situation where everyone is out on Michigan State. Everyone is doubting Mel Tucker. Like, what has Maryland really proved to make us be like, oh my God, they're so good. I know they played well against Michigan, but I think it's a situation where Michigan might have been a little bit overrated by the general public and people were surprised by Michigan State playing well. They were surprised by Maryland playing well and being competitive against Michigan. I'll take Michigan State plus the 7.5 to go against the public because the line opened like -4 and it's just crazy. I don't know anyone that's betting Michigan State, which normally means Michigan State's going to cover. Virginia Tech, North Carolina. So this is one where you get screwed by the weather. The expectation in Chapel Hill, we were hoping there was going to be, some significant rain. I think I have the under 52. I'm screwed. I'm not going to swear, but it's not looking good. 56.5 is the over-under in that. Central Michigan, Toledo. I like Toledo. I think Toledo's a good team. They should have won last week. Bowling Green, Akron. I love the over. Just a higher scoring game. Bowling Green, a 9-point favorite. Miami, Buffalo. I love Buffalo. Buffalo opened this game as 1-point underdogs. That was great value. They're -3 now. I got to stop doing that because I lose the chat. Oklahoma, -5.5 lock. I agree. I don't know if it's a lock. I would say based off of the history that we know with Oklahoma, although this is a new team, it's Brett Venables, this is a game where it's kind of a parity thing. Oklahoma's not going to get their second loss. TCU, they're due for a loss, folks. Let's be real. They're not going to stay undefeated. So I do think that Oklahoma will win. If you want to be safe about it and you want to do a money line parlay, you could do Oklahoma, Wisconsin. Wait, where was that Wisconsin-Illinois game? Guys, the Wisconsin-Illinois under seems like a lock based off of every model I've looked at. The Citadel, Appalachian State, they don't even have lines for some of these games because they're FCS. A&M versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State is 4-point favorites. I think there's decent value, A&M +4. FAU, North Texas, over-under 60. I would take the over. Those two teams can score. Wagner, Syracuse. Wagner is 0-3. California, Washington State. This is a big game in the Pac-12. You're talking about Washington State trying to avoid going to 0-2. California sitting at 3-1, coming off a big win against Arizona. I like Washington State at home. Remember, Washington State, they had that devastating loss last week to Oregon in just a disgusting game that was. More games, New Hampshire, FCS. Guys, trust Charlotte football. Charlotte will win. And you take a... Wow, look at the weather forecast. Guys, the under. The under in this Charlotte-UTEP game. UTEP cannot score. They cannot. They have one of the worst offenses in college football, and it's going to rain. And we might have to look up the weather. We might do that after this. We'll look up the weather. We've got possible rain showers in Auburn. Take the under 45, folks. Heavy thunderstorms expected. Auburn, LSU. Take Auburn +8. That's good value. Cincinnati, Tulsa. I'm staying 85 degrees. Dude, I would shoot myself if I had to play 85 degrees in October. October 1st, it's 85 degrees. Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is somehow 4-0. They've had one of the worst schedules in college football. Western Kentucky, I love Western Kentucky. I think they're undervalued again, minus the 5.5. Georgia is -30. Someone must have made like a $1 million bet on Georgia. That line was stuck at like 27.5 forever. And this is the first time I'm seeing it. It's -30 now. So, wow. Yeah, I have Georgia winning this game 49-7 against Missouri. Georgia, after last week, they don't cover against Kent State. They're going to be pissed. They're going to want to destroy Missouri on the road. Missouri has like a 5-star receiver, #1 overall receiver, Luther Burden. The kid wants to transfer. He's pissed. Not good news for Missouri. NC State versus Clemson. So a crazy thing about this line, the over-under actually got down to 40 when, like on Wednesday, everyone was like, it's going to be a thunderstorm. It looks like look at this, just cloudy. There's no rain. This could be DJ Uiagalelei's breakout performance against NC State in a top 10 matchup. This is really just a great situation for Clemson football. You're trying to inject life back into your program after a bad year last year, and you get a freaking layup. I mean, I don't want to badmouth NC State, but let's be real. NC State is really not a top 10 team. And to me, I think they'll cover the 7-point spread. I like the over. And if there's no rain, DJ Uiagalelei legitimately will announce himself to the college football world. I like Texas money line. I probably actually like Texas minus 7.5 against West Virginia. Indiana, Nebraska. I like Nebraska money line. Nebraska has to win at some point, and Indiana is not. They're worse than 3-1. They're significantly worse than 3-1. Virginia, Duke. I think I picked the over in this game, which is looking a little bit better now, considering the rain is not supposed to affect this game at all in the Carolinas. San Jose State, Wyoming. You know, Wyoming is actually been pretty good this year. So is San Jose State. San Jose State 2.5-point favorites. It's going to be a lower scoring game. UAB Rice. I love UAB minus 10. UAB is kind of a forgotten football team. They were getting so much hype in the preseason. Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech was plus 24. They've been bet down. I think that's mainly due to people realizing Pittsburgh is overrated, and so it gets bet down to 22. Florida International is horrible, just the worst team. Guys, by the way, at this point, FIU is so bad, they're like the worst team in FBS by 5 points. If you look at the FPI, because they lost 73-0, or I think it was 76-0 last week to Western Kentucky. They're so bad. They are clearly the worst team at this point in FBS. New Mexico State 14.5-point favorites. Colorado, Arizona. Colorado is the worst team in Power 5. Arizona State, USC. That's a lot, man. 25.5-point favorites for USC. They're banking on a Caleb Williams comeback performance after his abysmal outing against Oregon State. Of course, nobody even watched that game. And then Stanford and Oregon, guys, trust David Shaw, just like Chip Kelly. Remember, trust Chip Kelly, trust David Shaw. Stanford plus 17. Do I hate Michigan? I don't hate anyone, man. That's the thing. Like, I don't hate Michigan. I don't hate Michigan State. I like watching college football. That's basically it. I've really transitioned myself into being more of a college football fan, I would say, at this point, than really hating teams and stuff like that. When I was younger, I hated teams, and I'm just more of a college football fan. That's kind of my job and stuff like that. So, guys, these are some predictions. I showed this in another video, but this is just food for thought, something to look at. I feel like I need to lock the chat so I can always view it. Are you worried about JSN possibly never coming back? So that was actually a worry that JSN tore his hamstring or something. Apparently that's just a rumor. And JSN will be back. They're not playing him this week against Rutgers. There was an issue in that week 2 game the week 3 game when he came back against Toledo where he re-injured himself, but it's not severe. And JSN is the type of guy where I think he'll come back. I don't see him doing a Jamar Chase thing, doing a Micah Parsons thing where they sit out, because it is a situation where JSN can sit out and he'll probably be a top 10 pick. That's kind of the sad truth with college football. The hope is he wants to create a legacy at Ohio State, and he will be back. So JSN, I would say maybe for the Michigan State game. To me, it depends what Michigan State does this week. If Michigan State gets crushed by Maryland, that Ohio State-Michigan State game is going to lose a ton of steam. It's just not going to be, it'll be like a 25-point spread or something if Maryland crushes Michigan State. If Michigan State has a good performance against Maryland, it's going to be a bigger game. JSN might come back, but they're playing it so cautious with him right now. There's no reason. You're 40-point favorites against Rutgers. If he's already re-injured himself one time, You're just not going to play them against Rutgers. You just can't do it. But these are the overall game lines right here, guys. Michigan, Iowa. Again, I like the under. They say it's 24-17. Can Iowa get to 17 points? This is such a game that Iowa should be winning. It's like the perfect upset for Iowa. J.J. McCarthy's first big road game, but Iowa's offense is so bad. It's just tough. This is the thing I was saying about the model and Louisville and Boston College. A lot of people said that a lot of people, hate Boston College. They've been playing horrible. I mean, the line should be 7.5 according to this model. Whatever. Texas Tech, Kansas State, 31-24. Texas Tech, I agree with that. Temple, Memphis. Yeah, Temple is horrible. Purdue, Minnesota, they've got it at 30-21, Minnesota. The Big Ten needs Minnesota to keep winning. They need Minnesota. If you're looking for one team from the Big Ten West, it's got to be Minnesota. I feel like people watch yeah, dude, I wish that was the case, but unfortunately, you take a look at the ratings and stuff, it's pretty crazy what the NFL does. The NFL gets such big ratings, dude, that they don't even care anymore. They're putting stuff on stream only, which will only limit the viewership. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The NFL, their Sunday night games get 30 million viewers. College football, Saturday night on ABC gets like 7 million. That's the problem, guys. That is the issue. Kentucky versus Ole Miss, 28-23. That's pretty standard. Oklahoma at TCU, 35-28. I could buy that. I could buy that score. Illinois, Wisconsin, 24-17. I think it's going to be lower than that, but the under would still hit. Army, Air Force versus Navy. They've got Air Force. Yeah, guys, Air Force was supposed to be a good team this year. They've I think they lost the game or something. They fizzled out a little bit. Apparently, this is the worst team out of any Division I team. VA Lynchburg. I don't know if that's true, but you look at the metrics and stuff, they're so bad. Oh, they're not even listed on here as being ranked or anything. So, what are more games? There's a lot. Oregon State, Utah, 35-24. I think Utah wins by more than that. Elon Musk facing Elon. Imagine if Elon Musk bought Elon University. That would be amazing. Chattanooga. Bowling Green, Akron. See, they have Bowling Green only winning by 3, but I like the over. Fresno, VA Lynchburg, my team, bro. Yeah, VA Lynchburg, dude. I was reading something they're the worst team in all of Division I. If you look it up, they actually are. And I think they might face somebody later this year that's actually an FBS team. I would love to see the spread on that. But guys, this Bowling Green Akron over is a lock. Buffalo is, they actually have Miami of Ohio winning against Buffalo. That Miami of Ohio Buffalo game is a parity game. If Buffalo wins, both those teams go to 2-3. That's a pair, and Buffalo's at home. And Buffalo, this is a smorgasbord. This is a smorgasbord easy win. FSU versus Wake Forest. Again, guys, I like Wake Forest. The value there, 34-31. Michigan State, Maryland. There's good value on Michigan State. Everyone is against Michigan State today, guys. There's good value on them to kind of go against what everyone is saying. Virginia Tech, North Carolina. If it doesn't rain, the over is definitely going to hit. Rutgers at Ohio State. Ohio State's going to score more than 42. At least I think they will. We'll see. Northwestern, Penn State, 33-10. That's a pretty low score for Penn State. Northwestern just is horrible. Northwestern is really going to have to, I don't know what they're going to do because this is, I think, 3 straight years or maybe 2 straight years where they've just been horrific. Alabama, Arkansas, 35-21. Oklahoma State, Baylor, 27. I like Baylor. I like Baylor on the money line. I don't love it. So, I probably wouldn't bet it, but I do like Baylor to win that game. Just from a college football perspective, from a fan perspective, I think Baylor wins. And Oklahoma State gets their first loss. Baylor gets a win. They're two evenly matched teams. That's going to be a good game. That's a 3:30 game. What is that on FS1? A&M, Mississippi State. They have A&M winning. So there's probably pretty good value for A&M plus the 4. Man, and they love the under. A&M is A&M the most boring, good team in college football? Horrible offense, good defense, every game's low scoring. That's maybe Michigan. No, I wouldn't say Michigan. Michigan at least has, a young quarterback that's talented. Other games, look at that 48-0 Syracuse Wagner. Isn't Syracuse undefeated? Syracuse is going to be 5-0. Syracuse is number 27 in the nation. That is amazing. Ugh. Excuse me. UTEP Charlotte. Charlotte's going to win that game. Let's be real, folks. Washington State by 3. I'm really hoping Oklahoma State takes it. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, that Stephen F. Austin game. Did they face a team that was called Warner or something? They won 98-0. And it would have been... So Stephen F. Austin was up 98-0, and they kneeled. Instead of kicking the extra point, I think they kneeled. They should have went for 2. I mean, I don't think it's rubbing it in another team's face to try and get to 100. That's so rare. I would have tried to get to 100. But, guys, this is a good question. We literally never see 80 burgers. Why do no teams score 80? Ohio State, I think 3 times now, has gotten to 77 points. No team gets to 80 ever. How is that? You would think every week, well, not every week, early in the season, 77 points, 73 points, 70 points. At what point do we see a team just say fuck it and beat somebody 94-7? That's what I want to see happen. I want to see somebody drop a 90 burger and see the outrage. That would be amazing. But I don't even know how it would happen. I think you would just have to get a bunch of long rushing touchdowns, because if you're up by 50 points, you're just going to run the ball. So that's how you would generate yards, I'm guessing. Or you get scoop and score takeaways or something. But I would love to see who's the next team to drop 80 points in college football? Because I don't think anyone in a true FBS game, a top 25 team, dropping 80 points on someone. When are we going to... I know Wisconsin did it. Did Wisconsin score 80 points? Ohio State... I know, dude, Ohio State, they've been so close to dropping 80. I'm waiting for it. They get to 77. They got to 77 against Bowling Green. They got to, I think, 77 against Oregon State. They get to 77 against Toledo. We need an 80 burger at some point. It might be rainy by 3:30 for the Kent, Ohio game. Dude, I stay away from the MAC. Well, I like the MAC over-unders, but Kent versus Ohio, listen, I think that I think that game line is really high, or the total over-under is really high. Let me look that up. 65.5. It says it's going to be cloudy. All right, guys, I'm going to look at some of the weather to really see what we're dealing with in these 2 games. So the UTEP-Charlotte game, it looks like there's going to be rain. I'm hoping everyone can see this. We're looking... This game is starting at 3:30, correct? When is this? This game's starting at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock... No, it's not going to be raining. Is this Saturday? This is the hourly forecast, and there's great news. So there's no rain on that. I don't know what AccuWeather was saying that it was going to rain. Let's take a look at this Auburn game. Is there any concerns on this? Looking at Auburn. I mean, what is this, a different day? It's saying it's going to rain. Let's just look at today. Maybe it's messed up. I don't know. I'm trying to find games that could be affected. It's perfectly sunny. It's 69 degrees. Guys, I'll tell you what. I woke up this morning. I was freezing my ass off. I woke up at 6 a.m. It was pitch black. I was coming off a major high after that Chip Kelly performance. Dude, Chip Kelly, I'm like Chip Kelly's slave at this point. I mean, I will suck Chip Kelly's dick legitimately, after telling everyone, and it was just a troll. It was just for fun. I was like, I love Chip Kelly, trust Chip Kelly. And then Chip freaking Kelly says, you know what? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to make you right and crush Washington. And guys, that game was a blowout. You want to see something that's ridiculous though, guys? Let me let you in on a little secret here. Oh, the game's already happened. I hope when I'm scrolling down, I'm not losing frames. Let me know if I am. So these two games right here. I have to go on a rant. Houston football. Houston football. You go to number one. You're facing a third-string quarterback at home, and you're up in the fourth quarter. Everyone had Houston football money line. Some people had Houston -3. You go to overtime. Okay, whatever. You're in overtime. You win the toss, and you want the ball to start overtime. You completely give up your advantage, and then it's fourth down. You don't know if Tulane's going to score a touchdown or field goal or whatever, so you have to kick the field goal on fourth down. Tulane gets the ball, and they win the game. Why are you taking the ball in overtime after winning the toss? And how is this even a game? This game defied everything I knew. There is no way I thought Tulane was going to go to 4-1. Tulane is 4-1. How? Houston is 2-3 after returning their quarterback who threw for 30 touchdowns. After returning Nathaniel Dell, who's a really good receiver. And Tulane is banged up. They've got quarterback problems. They missed like a 20-yard field goal in the first quarter. And they still win. Houston football, man, I don't know. And then, guys, what is this? The passing leader from this game. So you mean to tell me Boise State, San Diego State right now, this is what you're telling me. You're telling me the passing leader in this game threw for 86 yards, yet Boise State scored 35 points in the second half? How is that possible? What is the algorithm that gets us to scoring 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and your quarterback throws for 86 yards in the whole game on 12 passes? What? It's crazy, guys. I don't even know. And then, did anyone watch this UNLV New Mexico game? I'm guessing no. That happened. So I'm a little bit mad at myself for this UTSA Middle Tennessee. We should have seen the over coming on this one. Middle Tennessee, after their huge game last week, they have an explosive offense. UTSA is a team, they don't care about defense, they just want to score. Guys, if you're someone who had the over in this, I respect you because that is a good pick. And yes, I see it now. Now I see it. Friday night shootout. Yep, I should have been in on it. That's my fault. And then, again, the Houston game is just, you know what? Let's just go to this. Let me just look at this really quickly because this is just Houston football. You're at a 91% chance to win. You're facing like a fifth-string quarterback. Wait. Okay, we don't need to see an autoplay. That's the other thing, guys. I'm going to lose my mind. Please stop autoplaying. Do not autoplay. When websites autoplay videos, I lose my mind. If I want to watch the video, I will click on the video. You're not going to autoplay videos for me like I'm a 3-year-old. But guys, we've also got these picks right here. And these are just, I think I paid $10 for this or something. I think I can show it. I mean, who cares, dude? But these are just score predictions. This website apparently runs 5,000 model predictions. Let me get the chat back up. This website runs 5,000 model predictions, and they average out to scores. So you take a look. Army over Georgia State, 29-22. I like the under in this game. And these are just predictions. Louisville, that looks about right. 34-22. See, this is one where it's just like, how was Michigan scoring 32 points? How do we come out with Michigan scoring 32 points? I don't understand that. Kansas State, 34-25. That's a little bit too high scoring, but they do have Deuce Vaughn. 34-21, Minnesota. I can buy it. Minnesota might, if Minnesota is seriously -9.5, that might be good value. Kentucky, Ole Miss, I'm staying away from. This is, see, me and the model are in sync. I like this score prediction a lot. Oklahoma 39-26 over TCU. Love the under Wisconsin, Illinois. Illinois, really good defense. Not great throwing. Wisconsin can't throw. They always have a good defense. Of course, last week you're facing Ohio State. It is what it is. I will say the under is a lock in this game. And it's also 11 a.m. start time. If you add everything together, the culmination of this game, the under is clearly going to hit, in my opinion. The next matchups, Navy, Air Force. Wow. So, guys, Air Force, I would say take Air Force in this. That's a huge win when you look. They're only minus 14. James Madison, yeah, there's good value right now on Texas State plus 22. I've been saying that. There's really good value on Eastern Michigan. It's just how bad UMass is. I could very easily see Eastern Michigan winning this game 49-7. Great call on UCLA. Guys, it's not even hard. We don't even have to think about it. Trust Chip Kelly. That's all I say. Trust David Shaw. Trust Charlotte football. Trust Chip Kelly. It's the Infinity Stones. We've got one of them. We've got the Chip Kelly stone. We're going to get the David Shaw Infinity Stone tonight when Stanford upsets Oregon. And then Georgia fans get pissed off because there goes their big win. And we know that Charlotte is beating UTEP because UTEP has a horrible offense. The game's in Charlotte. I think Charlotte is 1-4 because they played in week 0. They're due for a win. Yeah, I like Utah to cover. So me and this model is correct. I really like this model a lot. East Carolina, yeah, I mean, it's tough. That's a neutral site game. Fresno State destroying UConn. The model can't predict injuries, so I believe Fresno State's QB is injured again. Wow, 39-38. Holy crap. But yeah, I like Wake Forest plus 7. Maryland over Michigan State by 5. I can respect that. Again, it'll be interesting with Michigan State because, guys, the backstory, Michigan State faces Ohio State at home next week. It's a 4 o'clock game on ABC. So this could be huge for ABC if Michigan State somehow wins this game, or it could blow up in their faces. If Michigan State gets crushed by Maryland, they are going to get, it's going to be a complete, like a 25-point spread next week at home against Ohio State. North Carolina and Virginia Tech, yeah. So, guys, I would say the over in this game is a very solid play. North Carolina has a horrible defense, and it does not look like it's going to rain. I'm on the hook for the under 52. That bet is screwed. That bet is done. I already lost. Ohio State Rutgers 51-14. I can respect it. I can respect that prediction. Penn State Northwestern 36-14. I can respect it. 36-21 Alabama. That's pretty much what Vegas thinks. Oklahoma State beating Baylor according to this model straight up. Iowa State over Kansas, whatever. Bowling Green over Akron. I think Akron will score more, personally. And Bowling Green, both of those teams. Miami beating Buffalo. I like Buffalo. And these are just different models to look at, guys. I don't know if there was something that I saw that I wanted to talk about. There was something that was like on the homepage that the thing is, if it autoplays videos, it's going to be a problem. Key stories. No, this is not what it was. I don't know what it was, but guys, that's basically the full list. Okay, so let's take a look at the noon games. What noon game am I watching? Honestly, probably Michigan-Iowa. I'll probably watch the Michigan-Iowa game at noon just because it's going to be boring, I'm sure, but I like watching the Big Ten games. Kentucky, Ole Miss. I mean, for a noon game, 7v14, that's a good matchup for noon. Oklahoma, TCU. If you're an Oklahoma fan and you lose this game, oh my goodness, that is a bad start to the Brett Venables era. Purdue, Minnesota. We expect Minnesota to win. The Big Ten needs it. Texas Tech, Kansas State. Wow, that game is on ESPN+. Big 12 Network, maybe? Boy, I'd be pissed if I was a Kansas State fan. Michigan, Iowa, Big Noon. Yeah, Michigan has been on Big Noon every week. Michigan can stay on Big Noon for all I care. Jesus. Wait, Ohio State plays on BTN. Yeah, they play on BTN at 3:30. Oregon State versus Utah. Utah is minus... Oh, that's a 2 o'clock game. So, in that game, nobody's going to watch that. We're just going to see score updates. Utah is minus 10.5. So, guys, I would like to live react to games, and basically how that would work is I would just have this... See, it's auto-playing again. It's just so... I don't think you guys can see it because I have it blocked out, but I would just live react to the games, and then I would have a TV over here with a game that I want to watch on, and I'll do a live reaction. The issue is I don't have a small flat screen TV. I used to have one. I don't have one anymore. So I'm just getting kind of the hang of this whole streaming thing and stuff like that, trying to work everything out. But certainly my next streams are going to be probably cleaner and stuff like that, and it'll be easier and stuff. But I'll probably stream Xbox games and things like that as well. But what I hope to have is a TV right here. I'll have whatever game I want to have on. I'll have the full college football scoreboard on the stream. And obviously I can't stream the games live. They would literally just take down my stream because it's copyright. But I can react to everything and then live react to a game that's happening when I get a TV. I don't have a small TV. The TV that I have in my room is mounted. It's like a 64-inch mounted to the wall. It cannot be moved into here. So, and I used to have a 32-inch Westinghouse TV. Flat screen is a nice little TV. I don't know what happened to it. I might have to look for it, or I think my brother might have stolen it or something. I don't know. So I'm going to have to look to see if I can find that. But right now, the reason I can't... I would love to just stay on here and just live stream the games. I really don't care. I mean, I just watch the games anyways. I'll just live react to them. The only issue is I probably would swear a lot and stuff like that. But, how about... Dude, Marvin Mims is so crazy. Marvin Mims averages like 400 yards per catch. I swear to God. Every game I see, Marvin Mims has like 3 catches for 120 yards. Like, is Marvin Mims incapable of catching like a 7-yard pass? I love the dude. I think he's going to be a really good NFL receiver. And Dylan Gabriel has had a great year, by the way. You know what we can go to, guys? You know what we can go to? This is something that I think everyone should look at because it's interesting. If you go, number one, go to the total QBR. How about Daniels, the quarterback for Kansas? Number 1, C.J. Stroud. Number 2, Hooker. Number 3, Drake May, the Heisman candidate at number 4. Tanner Morgan, the 40-year-old. But guys, what you can actually do is you can go to this all-time bests on this tab, and you can see the all-time best games that were ever played. And according to ESPN, Brett Smith, a Wyoming quarterback, in terms of overall, just as a quarterback, if you go to this game, Wyoming wins 56-23. His numbers, he was 35 of 41 for 373, 4 touchdowns, 16 carries, 138, and 1 touchdown. That's not even the craziest game. The Khalil Tate game against Colorado. Was this the game where he had the running? Khalil Tate, please don't autoplay. Stop. Stop autoplaying. Khalil Tate, 14 carries, 327. How is this possible? How do you get 327 yards on 14 carries and you're a quarterback? And he was 12 of 13 for 154 and a touchdown. So if you ever need time to kill, go to these all-time greatest games. De'Aaron King. De'Aaron King was a beast when he was on Houston. Guys, what happened to De'Aaron King? It's so sad. Like, you would think De'Aaron King transferring to Miami with more talent, but he was so bad last year and then got injured, and Tyler Van Dyke took his job. Colin Kaepernick, man, they won 70-45. Daniel Jones against UNC, Lamar Jackson, not surprising, but it's a cool thing to look at if you ever want to look at something like that. Geno Smith, this game. The 70-63 game. Yes, Geno Smith. Look at the quarterbacks, 581. This is Big 12 football. This is what Big 12 football was. 70-63. Look at the first half. Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin combined for 500 receiving yards and 17 catches. J.D. Woods, 13 catches. Dude, I love Terrence Williams. You guys remember Terrence Williams? Remember when he was on the Cowboys? 17 catches for 314 and 2 touchdowns in that game. It's so cool to look at that stuff. But it is, just something to look at if you ever want to. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for Chip Kelly won last night. Thanks for the betting tips. Absolutely, guys. You don't even have to think about it. Just trust Chip Kelly. It's amazing. But I will say, I don't know, what does UCLA's schedule look like? Imagine UCLA makes the playoffs. UCLA schedule. Let's see who they face next. I can't, dude, I'm so mad at this. Here, UCLA schedule. Oh my God. What, dude, what a, okay, so all we need is Utah to win today at home. And I think they're going to win. Think about this heavyweight matchup. Utah traveling to UCLA. Guys, I think Utah is going to be favorites in that game. I really do. On the road in the Rose Bowl. Why would that be a 3:30 game? That game should be you got to make that game at 7:30, man. Come on. You got to make that game what is the 7:30 game next week? I guess they haven't decided it. It'll be decided by tonight. You got to come on. That's great for the Pac-12. UCLA is going to be, top 20 at least? Now, we have to understand, UCLA they were like Michigan. Historically bad non-conference. But that'll be I would say UCLA is going to be ranked like 16th. Utah, if they win, they'll probably be ranked like 10th or 11th because a few teams might lose or whatever. And then, wow, they get a bye week, and then they're at Oregon. So they might lose back-to-back games. And then they get Stanford at home, probably a win. At Arizona State, probably a win. Versus Arizona, that's a win. Versus USC. So their schedule gets real tough. UCLA football, that is. But they're trending right now. Trust Chip Kelly. Plus 3 points. Wait, you guys want to see my best bets? I'll show you guys my best bets for this week. Let's just look. I believe no, that's hot takes. Guys, I really do not have this sorted at all. It's like it's a mess. So this game, I'm screwed just completely. I was hoping for weather. And the second game, I think I got lucky with the weather. I got the over 42. It's 45 now. UCLA plus 3.5. We love it. The Boise State game, it makes no sense. I already said it. I like Michigan, Iowa. I still like that under. The line really hasn't moved. I think it's 42 flat right now. Oklahoma State, I like them. They are -5 now. Georgia State, yeah, so the under in this game is 54. It's really moved since I did the video. James Madison -23. It's not great value, but James Madison's on a roll right now. Wake Forest +7, that's good value. Northwestern Penn State, the under, I like that. I still like that bet. Bowling Green Akron over 52, I like that. Buffalo +1 is great. Ohio State -41. I'm just betting on the offense for Ohio State. Georgia -27, love it because they're -30 now. South Florida +8, that bet is void. That is a void bet. When I said this on Monday, the game had not been moved to a neutral site. The South Florida East Carolina bet that I would make right now is the under 57 because it's played on a neutral site. The way those games work, take the under. Western Kentucky -6, I love it. Virginia Duke the over, I love it. Weather should not be affected it. UAB, I love -10 at Rice. Georgia Tech, I love +24. And then Stanford +16.5 at Oregon, I love as well. So those are all the best bets kind of looking back on it. I did this on Monday. Obviously now it's Saturday. Some of the lines have changed in my favor or not in my favor. That's just what's going to happen when you make the predictions early. And guys, I will say the reason I make my predictions so early, it's a strategy based off of me trying to get as much viewer potential as possible because I know this video, like this best bets video, is going to be dead when the games kick off. Because the only people that will watch this video will be the people that go back to see how I did. It's going to get very little views. That's why I make my predictions on Monday so people can watch them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. If I made my predictions on Wednesday, that limits my viewing window. You understand? But there is the idea to where maybe more people are searching for the predictions on Wednesday, and that could bump up the algorithm and stuff like that. So I don't know. But the reason I do them on Monday is to try and give people a greater viewing window, if that does make sense. That's why I do that. I just wanted to talk about that. So, guys, it is almost noon, and we've got, is your Q&A video coming soon? I can't wait. Yeah, dude, I already did the Q&A video. Actually, I did it about a week and a half ago. If you just search it on YouTube or you look back a little bit, you should find it. It's like a 36-minute video. But, guys, I am going to end off the live stream. Good luck to everyone. The next time you see me, it will be my instant reaction, which is... The instant reaction is a whole thing where... you know, it's a mess. I record the thing at 10:30. I have to edit it. It has to process 2 times because I'm recording it on my phone. It takes so long to process from my phone to my computer to a file to actually upload it. That's why the video doesn't get uploaded until 1 a.m. It's so annoying. But there's no other way to do it right now for me. I did get a new tripod, which is really nice. But the instant reaction video is going to be uploaded by 1, I would say, in the morning, 1 a.m. That's maybe it gets uploaded by 12:30. I don't know. It's going to be a long day for me, that's for sure. But guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that. I don't think it's in the description. I'll put it. I don't know, guys. You guys know my Twitter, whatever. Go Bears, beat Oklahoma State. You know what? If Baylor wins, they're in the top 10 again. They are in the top 10. We've got phenomenal matchups coming up. But guys, I am very happy with how this stream went. I'm just going to pull up my OBS and kind of replay this. My CPU right now is crazy. It's at 1. So it's just, this computer is so good. And 53 minutes in, it's very good. So guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. Make sure you follow